and welcome to another Breakfast Club Pattaya video. Our story today actually starts not in Pattaya, not in Thailand, but actually in the south of Italy, in a town called Ravello. Now, it was 1878 in Ravello, and a young Italian by the name of Luigi Manzi was looking to start a new life. He'd heard about London, he'd heard about Victorian life in London, the Industrial Revolution, some of the massive projects that were happening in London at the time, things like Tower Bridge, the bustling docks, the factories, and with that, he left Italy and he arrived in London to start his new life. He actually arrived in a place called Bermondsey in East London. And what he did in Bermondsey, which is what an awful lot of Italians did, they started their own business. Luigi was an entrepreneur and he began selling ice creams to the Victorians, and they absolutely loved them. Now, whilst he was selling those ice creams, something happened. Of course, Luigi was Italian, the nation of romance, and Cupid struck. He met a beautiful lady. Her name was Maria Cook. And Maria Cook was quite a successful young lady in her own right, because her family, they actually had a chain of restaurants known as Cook's Pie, Mash and Eel Shops. And they were really successful. Well, Luigi ended up marrying Maria Cook. And with that, he was actually given the blueprint, once he was under the family wing, to the secret recipe: pie, short crust pastry, mashed potato and liquor sauce with eels. They showed him how to actually make this incredible dish. Cooks had pie and mash shops literally all over London. They were one of the most successful pie and mash shops that the country had ever seen. Maria and Luigi ended up having a kid. It was a boy. His name was Michael, or Michel, right? Depends on how you look at it. And in 1902, Michael opened up Manzi's Pie and Mash in London. And to this day, it is one of the oldest pie and mash shops that's actually in the world and in London. Not only did it survive the Blitz in London, one day the Luftwaffe came over, they dropped bombs and the whole shop was completely and utterly shattered. But you know what? It didn't matter, because Londoners rallied round, they got their brooms, they got their brushes, and they cleaned out the shops, and that shop was still back open and ready to serve customers on that same day, which was incredible. Pie and mash in London, where I'm from, is part of culture. It's literally built in. It became a place where people would be going. It was part of the hub of the community. It's been in several feature films, and you've got things like Quadrophenia, Tom Hardy, when he played the Cray twins, they actually put a tip of the hat to Manzi's, where the Crays used to hang out. But sadly now in London, the docks started to close, eel supplies in the River Thames started to dry up, and new communities moved into London, new communities and new industries, and with that it brought new foods. McDonald's, Chinese, Indians, doner kebabs, they all now litter the high streets in the UK. And in particular, London's pie and mash trade was a bit of a casualty. They went from over 350 pie and mash shops at its peak down to just 20. But pie and mash has started to make a bit of a comeback. People like David Beckham, whenever they come over to the UK, they fly over and they always take their family for pie, mash and liquor. And more recently, Manzi's, the oldest pie and mash shop in London, has now been given Grade 2 listed building status. Now, we're here in Pattaya today, and there's an owner of a bar in Pratumnak called Bentley's, and he's bringing back this Victorian classic just for you. This is Bentley's. Let's go and check it out. let's just get down to some basic information about Bentley's and the type of menu it is. It's owned by a guy called John, and he's from London, okay? So, of course, the menu and the bar in itself is pretty much inspired really from British food and London food. Now, they do have Thai options on the menu, which is absolutely brilliant. Now, I have to say, we're not here today to talk about the breakfast, okay? But we have got a breakfast to show you later. But what we're here today for is this one: pie, mash, and liquor. Now, as I said, we will be showing you some of the other dishes, okay? But this is the one that I'm the most excited about because not many places do it in Pattaya. And also, there's probably people that don't understand this dish or what it actually is, because the liquor sauce that the pie and mash actually comes with doesn't contain any alcohol. It used to be made from boiling down the eels that they caught in the River Thames, okay, to help make the stock, and then they used to add parsley, corn flour, chicken stock. Everyone changed the recipe slightly, but that's essentially what liquor sauce is. It's a parsley sauce with mashed potato and a pie. And you never ever have this with gravy, you always have it with liquor sauce, because inside the pie is actually a minced beef and onion kind of gravy style. So many people, when they look at this dish, they look at the liquor sauce and they think, looks horrible, but trust me, it tastes great. It tastes a lot better than it looks. Now, sadly, we've got no jellied eels today, and I'll be honest with you, I'm relieved, because although I'm a Londoner, it's not imperative that every Londoner likes the eels, and that's the bit that I always used to leave off when my nan used to go and get these from the local pie and mash shop. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So let's wait and see when the food turns up, eh? Okay, so like the food is out at the moment, and I just want to explain. Now, bearing in mind this is a pie, mash, and liquor review, the cameraman has already broken one of the big rules. Hanging around with a Londoner, I bring him for pie, mash, and liquor, and guess what? He's not ordered pie, mash, and liquor, he's gone for gravy. Cold cannon and minced beef and onion pie with gravy. How could he do it? Oh my God. So that looks absolutely fantastic. Also, everything here is homemade. I always go on about level of detail, but everything is homemade. And this is one of their breakfast options, okay? It's a bit of a lighter bite breakfast, but you've got your mushrooms, your tomatoes, you've got your scrambled eggs, done perfectly, by the way, cured bacon and good quality sausage. This is the main event. This is what I'm here for, okay? So let's bring this right up to the camera, because I can't wait to get tucked into this. So you've got short crust pastry, homemade, minced beef and onion inside, liquor sauce and mashed potato. Now, some people might do this, right? Ready to tuck in, they use their knife and their fork. No, that's wrong, okay? In London, you eat pie, mash, and liquor with a spoon and a fork, okay? You don't need the knife, okay? Now, also, traditionally, this is served a little bit differently here to a pie masher shop, but I'll let them off, bear in mind we're 7,000 miles away from home. Normally, you would have the mashed potato, which would go around the side, then you'd have the liquor sauce, and then you'd have the pie. But here, they put the liquor sauce all around it, there's the mashed potato, and there's the pie. But that's absolutely no problem whatsoever, because I love liquor sauce. Now, how else would you already do it? People would normally tuck in this way? No, you start that way. That is how you do it, right? So the pie goes that way, and then, now for the purposes of this, I would normally be using a spoon, but for the purposes of the video, I am gonna get a knife. Let's tuck into this, and I wanna show you, okay? Look at that. Absolutely, I'm gonna show you this, right? Look at that. Look at the minced beef, onion and gravy, all inside there. That is absolutely brilliant. Now, you know one of my favorite things I spoke to you a little bit earlier about the history of Manze's because I'm fascinated by the stories behind food. And who would ever have thought, okay, that London's longest ever pie and mash shop was started by somebody that came to London from Italy that basically sold ice creams. Manze's. Look at this. I've just seen this, and this is incredible. Chili vinegar is something that we actually have in London, and it goes with all pie and mashes. And what's he done? He's actually bought Manze's chili vinegar over for his customers so they could enjoy it with their pie and mash. Now, what you're all waiting for is what does it taste like? But I want to try the liquor sauce because that's something. Honestly, it's exactly the same as I have from pie and mash shops in London. He's managed to reverse engineer the recipes. Obviously, it's a lot easier now. He's looked online, but the liquor sauce, it's identical. Honestly, he's got, in Thailand, sometimes it's difficult to get products exactly right, but this is identical. Now, let's have a quick look at the minced beef and the mashed potato. That's spot on as well. He's been able to recreate a Victorian dish that's been sold in London for hundreds of years perfectly right here in Thailand. That is seriously impressive. Okay, I'm going to get tucked into this, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to rate this place and I'm going to let you tell my thoughts on it. Okay, so we're on Pratumnak 5. Okay, there is car parking nearby if you are going to come down. Mondays they are not selling food, and food times they are 10 a.m. in the morning, and their last orders in the kitchen is around about 8:30. The kitchen closes at 9 o'clock, and they've got a full menu available all days. He does have a great sports selection. At the bar there's an absolutely brilliant selection of wines and spirits, and I think this is a really nice place. I think it will definitely appeal more to British expats, if I'm perfectly honest, because that's the way that the menu is actually geared up for. But in terms of value for money, I think it's really good. Pie, mash and liquor, $2.95. Scrambled egg, that came in at 265 baht. My eyesight, by the way. Obviously, minced beef pie, that was 295 as well. Coke Zero 50 baht, water 50 baht. English PG Tips tea, that's 70 baht. So for three of us, that came in at just over 1,000 baht, which I think was brilliant value for money. Now, in terms of rating, first of all, the pie, mash and liquor, that's an easy one for me, right? Because I'm telling you, that is identical to what I've had back home. He's got that spot on. That can't be anything less than a 10-star dish. That's absolutely incredible. And one of the things that I'm also really impressed with was the attention to detail with the chili vinegar. That was brilliant. All of the other food, I actually asked my friends, I looked at some of the other reviews. I think it's high up. I think it's a good 7, 8 out of 10. So overall, you've done a brilliant job with relation to the pie, mash and liquor, John. He's the owner here. You're getting a 10-star for that. Overall, I think Bentley's is a really, really good place. Way above average. I'm going to go and give it an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I think you guys should come down here too. So, listen, I just want to say, by the way, we're a few videos into this now, and I wanted to come up with a way that I could actually reward restaurants like this for the work and the effort that they actually go in. So we're introducing a new category today on the Breakfast Club. It's the Silver Spoon. It's for those restaurants that are not 10 out of 10, but given the budget that they're selling the food at and the quality of the ingredients, I think these places do deserve recognition, because there's a lot of places out here that would be 4 or 5 out of 10s. Do you know what? I'm probably not going to review those. Do you know why? Because I want you to come to the good places. I've already eaten all the rubbish places, so you don't have to. So, Bentley's 8.5 out of 10, Pie and Mash is a 10-star, and without any shadow of a doubt, one of the best places in its budget ranges in Pattaya, Jontiem, whatever you want to call it. Silver spoon goes to you guys, brilliant job. Pie and Mash liquor was absolutely fantastic. Once again, click like, click subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for the support. It means a lot. Cheers.